All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the third pre-dental meeting of the year. So just a few updates. Dues are due this week, so if you have the chance to pay those via Venmo within the next week before the fourth meeting, that would be great. If that's an issue for you, please feel free to email me and we will definitely sort some situation out. I totally understand this is a very financially straining time for a lot of people, so just let me know if that's an issue for you and we will settle that. Also, just a reminder to continue reading the emails pretty thoroughly. Almost everything will be found within them. Joanna does such a good job at curating everything together and adding all of the links and updates. So, yeah. All right, just a brief breakdown of today's meeting so that everyone knows what they're getting themselves into. So we'll start with updates from Erin, and then I will also provide a few updates, and then we're going to have a guest presentation from Ben Berger about this awesome organization called The Gift of Life. And then lastly, we're going to have an awesome talk from Terry, and I will introduce him later for those of you wondering who that is. All right, Erin.
Hi guys. Okay, so t-shirts, please keep sending me designs because we only have 4 and they are really good ones. I looked at them, but I feel like it'd be more fun if we had more to vote from. So please keep sending designs. I put that Uber prints. Someone used that to make a design. So if you were lost on where to start your design, maybe try there. And again, we're gonna vote on that like the 24 hours leading up to the October 14th meeting so that we can announce it in the meeting. And we figured a link would be easier because not everyone has to come to these meetings. And the winner will get a free shirt. And I think that's all I have for that. So just keep submitting designs. The interview prep. So I've been talking about this in the GroupMe, but if you have used DAT Bootcamp or if you have not, whatever, Joel is one of the members of the people who run that website, and he reached out to me about a website that he made that has videos about how to tackle interviews. So maybe this is more relevant to people applying this cycle or the following one, but you can use this code PDC or PD Club 30 for 30% off a subscription, but there's also 2 hours of free videos if you would like to use that. Otherwise, you get 3 additional hours of videos, and it is some money, but you have the subscription code if you'd like to use it.
And then speaking of interviews, thank you to everyone who came out for our first virtual mock interview with SciO, which is one of the dental school fraternities. It turned out really well, in my opinion. So next year, hopefully it will be in person, but that's something to look out for in the future too.
Oh, and the cohorts, so yeah, please still sign up if you would like to be placed into one. And if you would like to be placed into one and I haven't added you yet, maybe shoot me an email. I'll keep checking it. But hopefully you've been meeting with your cohorts if you're already placed in one and getting out any questions you need answered that are too hard to get answered in this meeting or through the big GroupMe. And so yeah, just keep using that as a resource of upperclassmen. That's all I have.
Awesome. Okay, just something to be on the lookout for are executive board office hours. So student orgs are now permitted to meet in socially distant groups of 10 or less. So in the month of October and maybe even November, we'll be hosting office hours, which are very casual. Basically, if you are free at that time and want to meet us, it'll just be kind of an introduction, questions, guidance, and advice type situation. So sign up sheets for that will be sent out in the next week or so. And then this slide is loaded, but basically Dr. Smithson is an endodontic resident and he's looking for students to participate in his research project as subjects. So basically this isn't for everyone, but it consists of 2 one-hour appointments, and there's numbing involved in a whole process, but the compensation is $75. And if you are interested in that, you can send him a text message. His phone number is towards the bottom of the screen. And then just to remind everybody of upcoming meetings, at the next one on October 14th, We'll be talking about how to build a resume, which will be very relevant towards the AdSAS application process. We'll do a letters of rec breakdown, including relevance to the current virtual situation, because I'm sure people are still hoping to get one, even though the situation is virtual this semester. And then we will reveal the t-shirt winner. And then at the meeting after that, we have a really awesome and fun guest presentation from Dr. Jordan Brown, who I'm sure many of you don't know, but I highly recommend following him on Instagram just to start getting, I don't know, assimilated to the meeting. And he is a current, or I guess he graduated from dental school just this past year from the University of Michigan. He went to Morehouse College for undergrad. He has so many awesome things going on. He was awarded the National Health Service Corps Scholarship and got the full $403,000 reward for Dental School. He's the author of this awesome ebook series that basically guides pre-dental and dental students. And like I said, he's a content creator, so feel free to follow him and be on the lookout for that in late October. All right, so now we're going to hear Ben talk about the gift of life.
All right, can you guys hear me and see my screen? All right, so I'm Ben Berger. I'm a third year, I'm a pre-dental student here. This is something I'm involved in. It's really important to me. It's a really good thing to get involved in. So the gift of life. So everyone here has the power to possibly save someone's life who has blood cancer. So founded in 1991. This is Jay Feinberg. He was in law school. He was diagnosed with leukemia. His chances of surviving did not look good. His only hopes was a stem cell transplant. And this is before international registries like the one that I'm a campus ambassador were really a thing. And so they held drive after drive after drive. Couldn't find a match until they finally did find a match for him. And so he's still living today. He's still very involved in the organization. And so his goal was to make sure that everyone in need who was diagnosed with leukemia like him has a second chance at life, could find a match. So reason that something like this is so important to me is because before I was even born, my grandma was diagnosed with leukemia. And so the first people you go to is usually your family, because you have about a 30% chance match of finding someone in your family who's a match or extended family. And lucky enough, one of her cousins was actually a match. So my grandma's still here today. But I mean, when I heard about this, I jumped on the opportunity to get involved because I mean, it's pretty much the easiest way you could save a life, you'll see. So here's some of the facts. So every 3 minutes, someone is diagnosed with blood cancer. Every 9 minutes, someone in the US dies from blood cancer. And so, yeah, you can read more there. And so the bottom part, very important, 85% of donors that get called are between 18 and 35, because people our age are the most healthy, most like their bodies are just the best for donating stem cells and bone marrow. So you can read more facts here. This is just about the organization, Gift of Life. And so this slide is also very important. So a lot of being a match has to do with your genetics and your ethnicity. So that's why you go to your family first, because your genetics are similar to them. So, but the reason why, so the breakdown here is because in the registry, there African American and Black people, multiracial, Asian and Pacific Islander, they're all and Hispanic, Latino people are all underrepresented in the registry. So that's why they have less of a chance of finding a match right now. So that's just an important thing to keep in mind. And so this is the process. It's really simple. So right now you're learning. And so if you were to swab right now, you'll see it's really easy. I'll explain it to you in a minute. If you were to be a match for someone, you have to go through all further tests, whatever. You could read more. Hopefully, maybe Lily, I'll send this PowerPoint to Lily so she could attach it with the email. And so 80% of matches are blood stem cell donation. So if you ever donated platelets, it's kind of similar like that. They stick, so it's kind of take blood out one arm, goes through a big machine, comes back in another, and you're fine the next day. And And then 20%, this is kind of the more scary one, the bone marrow transplant. They put you under general anesthesia, and it's obviously done by great doctors. And they fly, if you were to be a match, they fly you out to Florida. You stay in a great hotel. They take care of everything, because I mean, it's a great organization. You could read about it online. And so here's the really important part. So if you are interested in joining the registry, the first step is you have to download an app called the Swab app. You could scan this barcode if you just go to the App Store, search the Swab app, and it's really simple. So you register, you have to register, sign with the email, Facebook, or whatever. And then you'll select event, and there should be, I checked earlier with one of my friends, there's an event that says Ohio State Pre-Dental Club. You just click that, and then you have to fill out a questionnaire to make sure you are eligible to enter the registry. And make sure you're going to fill out your address, your information, whatever, and make sure you put the address you're currently living at, because they will ship you a swab kit, and you have to look out for that in the mail. And they'll also give you a prepaid envelope to ship it back. You just drop it in a mailbox if you do swab. The swabbing is really easy. It literally just looks like that little envelope there. And it's not a nose swab, so don't be scared. It's just a mouth swab, just your cheeks. So if it was like, you think like Corona, like nose swab, it's not. It's just a mouth swab, your saliva. It's really easy. Takes 5 minutes, if even. It's a really good thing to do. You could possibly save someone's life. I mean, it's really awesome, really important to me. And if you want to get involved yourself, like, there's only a few of us here at Ohio State doing this, and this is a huge school, like 50,000 students. That's 50,000 people who could possibly help save a life. So you could go online, look at the website, Gift of Life, campusambassador.org. It's like an awesome organization. They've been great to me. They're helpful with everything. Like, they're awesome. So, and you can help save a life. So I don't see the downside. So thanks for listening. Like, hopefully a bunch of you guys swab. I'd be very thankful. Gift of Life would be very thankful. And people who out with leukemia would be very thankful. So thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. We will definitely attach that PowerPoint in the upcoming email, and I am definitely going to swab myself. So cool. Okay, moving on to the guest presentation of the night, which I'm sure many of you all have been waiting for. So Terry Porter was our previous Pre-Dental Club advisor. He was the former admissions counselor at the OSU College of Dentistry, and he's currently the assistant director of admissions and outreach at OU in their osteopathic medicine program. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Terry and his presentation.
Wow. It is good to see faces and names that I know. It's like coming home. I wish I was actually eating some pizza in, the good old Postal Hall lecture hall that we all used to meet in. I'm sure you miss those days. I know I do. What an honor to be asked to come back and give, the old Terry talk. So Lily, did you get my presentation?
Yes, can you see it displayed on the screen right now?
I cannot.
Can anyone else see it, or is it just on my end?
We can see it.
Oh, you can?
I wonder if you can see participants' like faces right now.
Let me see. So
I made you the co-host, so if you want to share it yourself, maybe it would.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me do that.
Okay, perfect.
So again, thank you so much for having me back. It feels wonderful, and I wish I could be there in person and, high five and hug and all that cool stuff. And did you do Portofino's last year still? Was that still the pizza of choice?
Yes, correct.
I have not had a slice of Portofino since my last meeting with you all last September. So, man, so much has changed. So much has changed since I left you all. Obviously, my career, my occupation, you all have gotten a year older and closer to your dream of dental school and being a dentist. But obviously, there's been a lot more that's changed with the pandemic and meeting virtually all the time and all this stuff. So when Lily asked me to speak, I'm like, well, what do you want me to talk about? And, you know, she gave me some topics and I didn't like any of them. They're all really dumb because, you know, Lily, I mean, come on, right? No, they were all really, really good. Great topics. And I actually had told Lily what I want to do is speak on this, this, and that. And then, you know, today I kind of switched it up a little bit because I found myself filled with righteous indignation after watching the first presidential debate. And I got really just, you know, those of you who know me know that I can get like, and, you know, fall term, whenever fall term hits, I start teaching my sociology classes that are all about civic and community engagement. And one of the things that Lily had asked, you know, that a possible topic was leadership. And those of you, you know, who have been around a little bit, you probably see me talk a little bit about leadership. And I started thinking about you and knowing you all and knowing the types of students that you all and knowing, you know, what your future goal is. In order for you to get into dental school, we ask that you, in some way, shape, or form, practice good leadership, right? Whether you're a president or a vice president or a treasurer of this or that, whether you're the social chair or whether you're just really engaged in work in your community, work in the organizations through OSU. And we do that because, you know, the hope that we have for both, you know, OSU dentists and dental students and at OU Med School where I work now is that you become leaders in your communities when it's all said and done. And because of, you know, the kind of lifestyle as a dentist that you'll be leading, you know, if you think about, okay, yep, I'm going to graduate with a little bit of debt, unless I do, you know, military or I get scholarships or whatever, there's going to be some debt. But I've been talking with some of my old students who are graduates, and they're really starting to enjoy the fruits of their labor, so to speak, if you know what I mean. Oh, nice Mercedes you have. I like the new house. So things must be going pretty well. But, you know, with that becomes a responsibility to be someone who's working to make change in your community. And so what I wanted to do tonight is really talk to you all about leadership in action. And we're going to do, hopefully it works out, a little activity, a little workshop, okay? So I think Lily sent all of you out the social change worksheet. Did you get that? Yeah, shaking some heads. So check your emails or however things get distributed nowadays. Pull it up because we're going to use that. So as I said, I teach sociology, and I created this a few years ago to use in my civic and social change class, because I wanted students to understand that there is a way that you can look at problems and issues, whether it might be, hey man, my neighborhood, people are speeding through it all the time and we have kids, let's get some speed bumps. Or, hey, you know, we've got a student organization and, you know, we want people to donate marrow. So how can we work through that issue? How do we get more people on OSU's campus to do that? Or it could be something, you know, wow, healthcare disparity. It's a big deal. We know in Appalachia that children, because of the lifestyle in Appalachia, a lot of children suffer from very poor healthcare, oral healthcare. So how can we solve these issues? How can we work together to solve these issues? So tonight we're going to kind of work through something that you'll choose in small groups. Have any of you done the Zoom small groups yet? Anyone? Yeah? I've been using Zoom to teach for like 8 years. I had no idea until spring when we had to do a break, like a 100 people function at the college, that they even existed. And I feel like it's revolutionized my life. It's so cool. So let me share my screen and we're going to get moving here. All right. So can you guys see it? Can you all see it? Cool. Let's do the old slideshow. Now I don't have, you know, I don't have a nice PowerPoint because I switched everything up and it's just kind of a very basic PowerPoint, but it's powerful. It's a powerful, powerful point. Powerful PowerPoint. It's good in its simplicity. So I call this leadership equals action. Being a dentist means being a community leader. Because man, if you're a dentist and you're not providing leadership through your practice, and in your community, then you're missing a big responsibility of being a healthcare professional. So those of you who remember me, you know I love my quotes. And every presentation I've ever given you, I started with a quote. So tonight, I'm giving you a quote by Mr. Cornel West, a professor at multiple Ivy League schools, a theologian, a social activist, and just a general badass and a sharp dresser, okay? This is what Cornell says. He says that we're at a crucial crossroad in the history of this nation, and we either hang together by combating those forces that divide us and degrade us, or we hang separately. Do we have the intelligence, humor, imagination, courage, tolerance, love, respect, and will to meet the challenge? He says time will tell, but this is so important. None of us alone can save the nation or the world, but each of us can make a positive difference if we commit ourselves to do so. I love this quote so much, one, because I respect Cornell, but he's right on the money. Each of us, no matter if we're a first-year student, a second-year student, a third-year student, a fourth-year student, a dental student, or a practicing dentist in the community, each of you can make a positive difference in your own little bit of the world. You don't have to be Martin Luther King. You don't have to be Gandhi. You don't have to be Terry Porter. That was kind of a joke. I don't really think of myself in the same, atmosphere as those two. You can just be yourself, making positive change in your part of the world. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So first, what the heck is happening right now? So when you think of where we have been the last few years as a society, what are some of the issues that you're concerned about? So you can either shout some out or you can throw them in the old chat. This is the participation part. None of you have any concerns? Wow, I should come back to where you guys are, because I've got a ton of them. Racism, okay.
In the chat.
Climate change, echo chambers, man, okay, here they are, they're pouring in. Yeah, right? These are totally legit concerns. So, what we have seen in, and look, I started calling a duck a few years ago. I think I told you all before I left, if you remember my last presentation, that what you are seeing is not American government the way it should be operating. We have a president who does not respect the office of the presidency, who has degraded all the norms that, whether they're Republican or Democrat, the presidents have, followed for years and years to make our country what it is today. Even before this man was in office, we had major issues. They become compounded by the inaction that we've seen on climate change, the inaction that we've seen on social justice issues like healthcare for all, fair wages for African Americans and people of color and females, just continued income and wealth disparity and income inequality. And now, last night, I think what really set me on fire to kind of change things up is during the debate, when not only could the president not disavow white supremacy, he told a group of white supremacists who are prone to violence to stand back and stand by. That should scare the daylights out of you. And it should also make you not want to support this man if you do support this man. One of the former assistant directors of Homeland Security under Donald Trump said that statement alone should disqualify him from president. Now, I'm not here to make this an anti-Trump rally, but when I see the president of the United States not only not disavowing white supremacy, but actually telling a group of racists to stand back and stand by, that scares the hell out of me. Because what does that mean to you? What does that mean? It means to me, as someone who studies society and teaches sociology, that this thing that we call a peaceful transition of power, that is the hallmark of our democracy, where if a president is leaving the White House to the next president comes in, we have a peaceful transition. I'm starting to get really scared that if Donald Trump loses, which he has to, we have to have him lose, that there's going to be blood in the streets. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm just trying to help you understand the gravity of the situation that our society is facing, having this person at the helm. And because we had him at the helm, we saw a really not great response to the pandemic. You know, what would have happened if we would have had a federal response, a unified response? Would we have had less than 200,000 dead? Would we be in a better situation? So all these things together really have me concerned. The challenge is when you look at these big things and you're like, T-Bone, I mean, I'm a sophomore in college, you know, what can I do? What can I do? Well, there's lots you can do. You know, one, you can vote, all that kind of stuff. But I felt the need to really help you understand your role as a leader means that you are an active citizen in community. Whether it's, you know, politics or healthcare disparity or, you know, whatever issue that you feel compelled to look at and say, I want to create change in this, it is incumbent on you as a future healthcare provider, and when you get to that point as a healthcare provider, that you see yourself as a community leader. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you all about tonight. So I've got a quick video I want to show you from a guy named Eric Liu. Eric Liu is awesome. He calls himself a civic evangelist, and he has this quick video about being a patriot. Now, I don't know if the link will work. They never work for me. You know what? Actually, I'm going to pop into YouTube and share that directly from there. That I know will work. Okay, share computer sound. That's an important one. And you know what? I had it all pulled up. Let me go back. Can you guys see it? Can y'all see it? Eric
Yep.
Liu? Yeah? Or yeah, Eric Liu on the meeting. You can, Lily, is that a yes?
I see your like Bing screen or whatever it is. Like I don't see YouTube. I just see your search web.
All right. All right. You would think after all these months of Zooming, I would have it. Here it is. Now you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so dig this, just 2 minutes long, 2.5, whatever, 250. Here we go.
Holiday seems the right time to take stock of the meaning of patriotism. Here's former White House speechwriter Eric Liu, author of the new book, Become America.
My parents were born in Nanjing, China, in a time of war and revolution. They came to the United States via Taiwan to make a new life. I was born in Poughkeepsie, New York, in a time of peace and prosperity. I ended up working at the White House and becoming an author, a teacher, and a civic preacher. All my life, whether I was playing Thomas Jefferson during the bicentennial or working for President Clinton 18 years later, I've been aware that all I did was have the dumb luck to be born here. My parents did the heavy lifting. They risked everything. They showed me the meaning of true patriotism. These days, we hear a lot of talk about love of country and who's a real American. But too much of this talk is patriotism on the cheap, saying we're number one without doing much to earn it. For nearly 20 years, 1% of Americans have done the heavy lifting of fighting wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Of course, true patriotism doesn't require that we all join the military. It does require us to show up more, contribute more, participate more, be more useful to more people, to vote, volunteer, serve, listen, learn, empathize, circulate power rather than hoard it. It's called living like a citizen. And I'm not talking immigration status. Plenty of folks lack the papers, but live like good citizens. And plenty more have the papers, but don't. A century and a half ago, a German immigrant named Karl Schurz put it well. Schurz was one of the young reformers who tried to bring democracy to Germany in 1848, failed, then fled to America. He became an anti-slavery activist in Missouri, a Union general in the Civil War, then a U.S. senator in an age of jingoism and nativism, when demagogues were shouting, "My country, right or wrong." Schurz said, true patriotism isn't my country, right or wrong. It's my country, when right, to be kept right, when wrong, to be set right. In other words, not blind faith, but constant responsibility to reform, to dissent, to make sure we're living up to our creed. That's what I love about my country. I love getting to take responsibility for it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Carl Schurz couldn't do that in Germany. My parents couldn't do that in China. You and I, we get to do it every day. Let's celebrate that good fortune by earning it.
Big fan of Mr. Liu and what he has to say. So let's get back to what does that mean for you as, again, as a future healthcare provider and a student at OSU. Can you see the PowerPoint again? Okay. So about being a dentist, you might think, Terry, you're just talking your sociology mumbo jumbo here. How does this, what, you know, are any dentists talking about this? Yeah, man. This guy, Jackson Hadley, he's got a website called My Social Practice. This is what he says. Being a truly great dental practice isn't just about treating patients. It's a big part of it, absolutely. It's about creating a business that uplifts the lives of all around it. Finding meaningful ways to serve in your community will help you build a practice that team members and patients are proud to share. So, a couple things just went down right there with Mr. Hadley. He says that your practice should be about treating patients. That's kind of understandable, kind of a given, right? That's why you want to be a dentist. You want to help people, and you want to give them great oral health care. But he also says you need to be engaged in your community. You need your practice to be engaged. You need to be advocating for oral health care and disparities and all that kind of stuff. What's interesting, if you can read between the lines, help you build a practice that team members and patients are proud to share. What does that mean? It means that when you create a practice that is engaged in community, that's helping people, in your world, then you're going to have a strong team that wants to be a part of that community, that wants to be part of your practice. But you're also going to have patients that are proud to be a part of your practice. It's a good business thing, man. It's not just about being cool and doing what's right. It's about doing what's smart as well. And I think that's one of the main things, or not the main thing, but one of the cool things about being a leader in community is that it benefits those you're helping. It benefits you by helping you grow as a human being, but it's also good business sense. If you're running a practice that people can be proud to be a part of and say, wow, you should go to Dr. O'Toole's practice because she's doing all these great things in our community. And people are like, yeah, I've heard about it. She's really cool. I'm going to her practice. Okay, let's tell other people about it. And next thing you know, Dr. O'Toole's got 20 different practices across the country, and she's become a dental mogul who has done a million good things in the world. Right? Okay. So look, here's what I want you to do. So social change, how's it happen? What's the magic bullet of social change? There is no magic bullet. Never has been, never will be. There is no magic bullet to engage and make change in your community. If there is, I will tell you who it is. It is you. You're the magic bullet. It's always been this way. It always will be this way. Change of any kind, whether it's getting those speed bumps installed so people don't speed, in the neighborhood. Whether it's getting OSU to open Woody's back up. Did they? Have they? I know it's not open now, but did it ever open back up? Did it? Okay, good. It seemed like it was closed for a long time. Or, whether it's combating healthcare disparity, it's always been concerned people getting together, figuring out what their strategy is, what their plan is, and making it happen. So here's the exercise we're going to do. I want you to pull out the old social change worksheet. And Lily is going to divide you all into groups. I think there's an easy way to do it. Right? Where she just magically bams you into groups. If it happens too quick, it feels like you time traveled and you have whiplash. I was in a presentation last week and someone just like sucked us all out real quick. And I was like, what just happened? So we're going to try to do it in a way that doesn't freak anybody out. So I want you, when you get in your groups, to choose one of these two scenarios. As a group, pick an issue that concerns you now. As a college student at OSU. And I want you to use the social change worksheet to make a plan to address it as a group, okay? Scenario 2, imagine that you have achieved your goal and you're a damn dentist. Boom, check us out. We're doctors. Now, I want you to think of an oral health issue that you want to address as a group and use a social change worksheet to make a plan. Now, it is 7:06. Let's take 15 minutes as a group to pick one of those scenarios and make it happen. And maybe when we get back, I want at least a few of you to talk about, have a group spokesperson, talk about what your issue was and kind of run through how you decided to address it. So go ahead and break them into groups, and I'll see you all in about 15 minutes. so again, this was just a quick exercise to that no matter what issue you're addressing, what stage of life you're in, we want you to be leading change. And this is a way to kind of systematically look at an issue and step by step plug that issue in, answer the questions, and make a plan. Whether it is, as my group, we looked at, wanting more people to have health care, or like I said, getting better food in the cafeteria, or that doesn't, no one goes to, I don't know. Are you guys on campus? Like, I don't even know what's happening anymore.
No.
No? Okay. So, before I sign out, I just want to finish a few thoughts. So, nope, not Amazon Music. Let me get back to, good Lord, Porter. Figure this out. Did you guys see my Amazon Music, or did you see the PowerPoint?
I saw your PowerPoint.
Oh, okay, cool. That's what I wanted you to see.
Not anymore, but I did.
Okay, well, I'm gonna, where did my PowerPoint go?
I can share my screen too.
Can you see it now?
Nope. Okay. Let's see.
Okay. Can you go to next? Okay. So look, here's the deal. Go back, go back, go back. All right. So just some final thoughts. I want you to, I want to kind of leave you with some empowerment here. All right. I want you all to think of yourselves as agents of change now and in the future. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you can make a difference. I want to challenge you to work in your local communities, okay? As a student, as a future healthcare provider, as a dental student, and as a dentist, to not just, provide great oral health care, but to disrupt systems of injustice and advocate for those in need and empower them to use their voice. When you empower people to use their own voice, you're going to be helping them to address the issues, as well as working as an ally and an advocate with them. We have to use our education, your station in life. I included that because, a lot of you, not all of you, but a lot of you come from, pretty privileged backgrounds. Not by your choice. I'm not blaming you for that. It's not your fault that you come from a privileged background. It's just a lot of you are born into families that have, doctors or lawyers or dentists. So you've had a life that does enable some privilege. And you're all wanting to be dentists, and that's going to give you a life of privilege as well. So it's really important that you use that privilege to fight injustice, and that you use your creativity and your love for each other, your passion and compassion to fight injustice and make social change. And I want you to remember, I think this is so important, that every day that you wake up, that every day that you're fortunate enough to go, woo, I'm alive. All right, that day started off pretty good, right? That you help create the world you live in. You have to view yourselves as creators of your world. And once you can start saying that not someone that you don't know, or some politician, or, some dentist who's practicing now, or some professor, they're the ones that are actually creating the world. You have to look at yourselves as a creator of your own world every day that you're alive in it. And if you do, then do this: create an equitable, compassionate, beautiful world. And we need you to be doing that now more than ever. So that's all I have for you tonight. It was such a privilege to be back with all of you, even in this forum. I hope that my zeal is not what made a bunch of you say, we're not listening to this tonight. It's too political. But sometimes you have to call a duck, and you got to stand up. You got to stand up. I miss all of you so much, and I wish I could do the usual half hour after the meeting, hang out, and finish off the delicious Portofinos. But it's been a real honor to be asked to come back. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Terry. We miss you too. And I know that the students who are left definitely truly care and will be social agents of change. So thank you.
Awesome.
And then let's,
Thank you all. Take care.
no problem. Okay, thank you everyone for a great third meeting. As usual, I will just scroll through the last few slides. If you have a question because you're a new member or just in general, feel free to email. Here is the DAT study group QR code. If you haven't joined that and you're taking the DAT this year, please go ahead and do that. This is the application cycle if you're applying in the year 2021. And then as usual, our Instagram is the best place for updates. And that's it. Have a good night, everyone. If you have any questions, you can feel free to stay behind and I will try to answer them. Okay, see ya, everyone.